Greetings and welcome, beautiful people, to another technical analysis rapport where we talk a little bit more about everything than just technical analysis, but that's also part of our shtick. It's your boy Bags with your boy Jipaiza. Gautam is with us, and we're waiting on Nick, JFDI. He will be here shortly. Should I let him in, GP, or should we just let him stay knocking at the door when he gets
We
here?
need his energy.
All right. We'll bring his energy. I'm gonna send out the old stock twat and the old Twitter bird right now. But GP and I were just talking about this breakout that's happened in the queues, and I flashed this Ethereum, and Ethereum looks fantastic on the monthly and the weekly. And this is just an alternate view that I put together. But Bitcoin looks great too. We were just talking about that, and we know that there's a slew of economic data coming at us this week. And GP, I thought that you said something very poignant. I was alluding to maybe the dailies are starting to get stronger, and you said people might be waiting on a pullback, and Nick is here.
Nice.
He said he was going to be 15 minutes late. The man is 3 minutes late, so that's all to the good.
You have to open the door for him then.
Yeah, I'll open the door for him, and we're going to bombard him with our bullishness.
Sounds good.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Nick? Hey, we just started, so
All
thanks
right.
thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
We're sorry that we interrupted your busy dance card.
I mean, we got a new washer and dryer and a freaking microwave, just all kinds of crap going down. Just stuff, life stuff.
Life stuff.
Live stuff. We get it.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
Nick, we were just saying that things are looking quite well. I mean, after last week's big breakout on the queues.
Yeah.
Well, last week was confirmation of the breakout, no?
Okay, fair.
At least I think so, but I could be wrong. No, it was just a
Well,
breakout.
we can argue that.
It's just a breakout.
That can be argued that
Yeah.
we broke out on the week of last week of October and confirm that last week, or we can say we broke out last week. Either way, we're splitting hairs. We have broken out, is what we're saying. And there's a slew of economic data coming at us. And I was like, well, I think the dailies are starting to confirm we are entering or have entered a new uptrend. And GP said what?
I would not be surprised if we have a lockout move, right? And
Ooh.
so to me, like obviously CPI comes in tomorrow, but I think the bigger thing right now for me is actually the presence of China in our country, right? With Z, I don't know how to pronounce the name, so I don't want to butcher it. But the premier of China is visiting San Francisco. They cleaned up all of San Francisco in less than 2 hours. They could have done this all along, but they've decided to do it now. They've cleaned up San Francisco in a record amount of time, and I think the bullish catalyst that no one would expect is that China says, hey, we're going to allow potential domestic, because their economy is not doing great, they're struggling out of all this stuff. What if they ended up opening the doors to global companies this week, right? Or what if that's what comes out of all this stuff, is like a better relationship with China and US? That is the thing that's, I think CPI is going to either come in a little bit higher, a little bit lower, and it hasn't mattered much in a long time. So I'm not actually looking at the economic data, but actually what comes out of the China stuff. Because if that's a very positive, bullish catalyst that I don't think a lot of people would be expecting.
And that would be good for China stocks too, would it not?
I don't know. They suck. So
exactly. Exactly. I mean, any positive news would be good for something that sucks, right?
No, because it could be a sell. Like if you had the choice between Baba and Amazon, which one are you going to choose as a Chinese resident? Potentially, you could see them sell Baba off because Amazon can now come into China, right? And it increases competition for someone. So I don't know how the reaction would be there.
Well, I read a little technical analysis that I might disagree with you.
No, I'm not based on TA. I'm just talking about I don't know
Yeah.
the kind of the
News sentiment. Yeah.
so I don't know how it reacts. You would hope after this long of consolidation at the base of 7 years ago is a point where it stops going down and starts going up, but um until we see that. But so like for me, that's something that would really change perspectives in the markets, right? If the US and China come to this mutual understanding and agreement that hey, we can operate in our countries in a way that's transparent and productive, then that would be a huge catalyst for the stock market.
I'll just say above 80 good, or below 80 bad, above 87 very good.
Yep,
I'll just say that.
that makes sense.
Only China names I've really been paying attention to as of late have been NetEase and LI Lee.
Are you not looking at PDD?
I have them on my radar. It looks beautiful. I just for some reason I haven't had it on, like, I don't know. I haven't had any alerts set on it for some
Because
reason.
if you're looking at a China name that's not one of the EV
Yeah.
makers, PDD looks like it's about to explode, right?
God,
Like
that weekly looks so
Yeah, it
fucking
looks
good.
really good too.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
and so this if any China name, this is the one I'd be participating
I like
in.
the yin and the yang.
Okay.
Yen obviously is the 3x China bull shares. This could easily pop to 40, 37. That's 40% on your money from here.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah, I actually almost bought K Web calls today. I think the 28s, and I was like, nope, I just don't trust you.
Don't trust you just yet.
It could be next week when the news happens, right? So I'm like,
Yeah. Just because the
So
meeting's happening this week doesn't mean. I mean, the last time our diplomats, our whole crew that went to China, it was the week after that all the negative hit, right? Apple getting banned in China,
yeah,
etc., all that stuff.
in
So
terms of
it's the niceties while we're all visiting. The following week is the action.
sure.
and I honestly didn't see any flow that was notable for this week. So I'm like, it's OpEx. There's no real flow. So there's a bunch of call OI, but there's no actual flow coming in recently. So I'm like, whatever's going to happen's already been determined a long time ago.
Hey, Randy's with us. Shout out Randy.
Nice. Randy, what's up?
All right. Hey, we haven't talked China in a very long time, and I think this first 5 minutes, or 5 minutes in our first 10 minutes, is the longest we've talked about China in quite a while. But back to the lockout stuff.
Yeah.
The cues, or would you rather look at the SPY, Nick? You tell me.
Well, shit. I like them both.
Or the IWM. You were the big IWM homer a couple of months ago.
IWM. I mean,
It's
not,
it's still in that bottom gap fill area.
Yeah, I don't really have any interest in the IWM or the IWM names at this moment.
Buy
I do
low,
kind of
sell
like
high.
I mean, on the daily, it kind of does look like a little bit of like an inverse head and shoulders. And it looks like the 50-day is kind of like the line to use as like a cheater entry. If you're trading the IWM in particular.
That's fair.
But I was kind of curious about when you say lockout, how do you see that playing out? Because what I would love to see is I'd love to see some continued strength, but you know, get us a couple of weeks of like kind of tight price action up near the highs to give us kind of another pivot before it. If we take out the pivot highs from what was that, end of July?
Yeah.
If we take that out, like I am full board, like in the camp that we're going both after highs and at higher. Like we're going to all-time highs is what I think.
So my general view is that we're in a relatively healthy, you can call it a rounding bottom pattern from the 2021 highs, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
With a handle that's formed, giving you time to accumulate. A lot of stocks that ran 200-300% came back, had 50% retraces to get long. That I think, I'm not saying it's going to go to 450 on the Qs in like a week and a half. What I'm saying when I say lockout is of the names that will participate in the next move higher, right?
Yeah, okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean all of them.
For sure.
That the pullbacks already happened. You were too scared to buy them. That if you do get pullbacks now, it's going to be very shallow, right? So you're potentially going to have to buy where you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right. And keep tight stops or whatever. But you literally, like, I'll take Shop, for example, right? Shop went to 71, 72 or something like that. And then over 4 months, or 5 months, it basically retraced the entire move. And then earnings broke it back out again. So you have these like kind of two big bars on each side containing the range that you can see after this earnings. Last week was a doji. That price action is tight, right? And and now we're trying to move higher. Roku, very similar, right? Went from 98 all the way to 55, had this 40% move in a week, right? And every day it was like, oh, there's got to be a pullback, and then it went up that whole week of earnings. And last week it gave you a couple of entries, but nothing like a real big pullback, right? Back to the range. So I think a lot of people are expecting it to come back to the bottom or close to the bottom of the range, and I don't know if you'll get that anymore. You've had time to accumulate, and now, like, I guess when I say lockout, it's the markup phase, right?
Going stage 2.
Yeah.
Stage 2 continuation, actually.
Well,
if
we don't look at the QQQs as just simply a rounding bottom, and we say that, hey, it just might be more of a massive cup and handle that didn't feel all the way to the top. We had a beautiful move that did exactly that. In Microsoft just went to all-time highs.
Yeah.
Right. And that played out beautifully. We know Microsoft is a very big percentage of the Qs and the S&P. So if Microsoft is doing this, why can't we say that's going to happen here or eventually here? I mean, they're not clean, and I'm not trying to pretend that this is the perfect example or the textbook example of said move, but very, very plausible.
I think on the Qs, it is like about as textbook and as clean of like a cup and handle as you could ever possibly get.
Well, Microsoft was perfect.
Yeah. Like the Qs couldn't even pull into the 0.38, held the 200-day, didn't even really get a 200-day test before we ripped higher.
But the pullback in 2022 on the Qs was to the 382, I believe.
Say that again.
So the Qs, the move down in 2022, where it bottomed, was the 38.2 retracement, which is usually where a cup and handle bottoms, right around the 30.
Oh, are you talking about from the COVID lows?
Yeah, so from COVID lows to all-time highs.
Okay.
The retracement of the all-time highs to where it bottomed in 2022 is, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's a 38.2 retracement, almost like near bang on. And for the SPY, I think it was or maybe it was a 50% retracement. The SPY was 38. Well, vice versa, right? But it cup and handles can't be. I mean, cups can't be deep when you're talking about it, and cups have to happen at traditional cups happen at the top of the end, right? Not at the bottom of the end. So it's a consolidation move of a move that's already started. So if you're like you a lot of people call cups and handles at the bottom. Whenever they see a cup and handle, they're like, oh, it's a cup and handle. But this is, as you said, as true as you can be towards that kind of cup and handle conversation, the rounding bottom, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it looks good. And Microsoft also hit all-time highs, but the first one to do it?
Apple.
This year?
No, it wasn't Apple.
NVIDIA?
It was Apple. It was the biggest.
I win a chicken dinner.
Yep. So you have two of the largest companies in the stock market, both hitting all-time highs in the same year as well, right? So even though a lot of charts still look terrible, I'm not arguing any of that stuff. We're talking about overall indices and where things can go, right?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty wild, like how it all just kind of, it was almost like it was perfectly orchestrated in terms of how the various like big cap tech names either sold off into EPS or got hit post EPS, but more or less was bought up. Even down to like Apple following, the Fed announcement and it barely budging. I was like, man, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of like perfectly orchestrated. There's a lot of setups and a lot of charts I like. I think there's plenty of room and plenty of time for, I don't know, for this thing really to get going.
Did you see Broadcom? Did you see Broadcom?
Broadcom, yeah.
Broadcom, Nvidia's about to do the same thing.
Oh, just look at semis. I mean, look at this massive boner bar on semis right here. Like this is cup and handle too, right? This is the same setup Microsoft had. It just hasn't broke through to all-time highs yet. It's right there. It's right there.
You see Clack also? Just
Clack, your favorite.
Clickety clack.
Yep, all-time highs.
Now made all-time highs. Oh no, it didn't make all-time highs. It made 52-week highs.
Nick, you haven't even been talking about Clack, and you let it go to all-time highs.
Monster.
Clack is a monster.
I'm hoping if Tesla
can
find its legs.
I got long some more shares.
I did too. I like today's bar. It basically put in like a 20-day, 200-day pocket pivot, which is like a nice kind of wide range bar with an above average volume closing through one of those kind of significant moving averages. If in the event we got a pop and an open above 230, 231, it put in a nice big old kind of island bottom down here at the bottom of the range.
Agreed. And on top of this, the best part about this, Nick, is
don't you dare say Cybertruck.
The implied volatility in Tesla options is not even climbing yet. So still no one believes that this is possible, right? So you're still at this point, you're still early. Normally IV in Tesla stays in the 80% range and higher, usually in like the 100% range. It's bananas. And over the last few days, it's been in the 40s. Today, I got long some quick calls at 45 IV, and even off the reversal of 15 points or whatever it was, IV only went to 55, right? So like, there's still a lot more room for this to start to accelerate. So yeah, I like the setup here. It is frustrating a lot of people, which is hilarious, which means that a lot of people are going to give up trading right now too on it and then watch it go sky high. So.
How's your Palo Alto short doing, GP?
I closed it.
Ah, you sucker.
I closed it that day as soon as it retook the 50, or the next day or the day.
Good, good. I haven't looked at our stock picks and shorts in the last couple of days, so I'm just seeing where we're at right now.
No, as soon as it got above the 50 SMA, I'm like, I'm out. Right?
I'm out.
Yeah. It's a strong stock and it starts closing above.
Yeah.
It's a strong stock that look like distribution, and if it's going above the 50, it may give you a double top. I don't want to be holding through that.
Yeah, I'm holding Lulu, right? My pick is my short, and it's just proving me wrong. Hopefully these Tesla gains though will make it not matter.
You know, so like in terms of like overall, like quite a few charts that are standing out. Uber looks fantastic.
God, one of my favorites.
Nick, you just sounded like, I mean, you were very happy to see Uber, if you know what I'm saying.
I was Uber, Dash,
Yes, Dash is my next one.
and DKNG are my four biggest positions I have on right now.
How do you not have an APP? If you like Dash, you have to love APP.
I don't know how I didn't have APP on my radar.
I've been loving DraftKings. I've been winning some parlays. Parslays, more like it.
That's right.
DraftKings was the fourth one. I think are my fourth favorite of like. Those are my four favorite in it right now. I'm just kind of.
This is not a betting show, but living in a state where legalized sports gambling has been legalized, it makes watching sports so much more interesting.
Oh, I bet.
I'm watching the Raiders and the freaking Jets last night. They're both god awful to the final end. Anyway.
Yes.
Broncos up 3-0 on the Bills, if anybody's paying attention.
Roblox. You guys on Roblox, right? Or Bags, you said you had a position in Roblox.
Yeah, I've got a position in Roblox.
Yeah, I've had a position dead weight for a year plus.
Kind of looked like today might have been for those that didn't or that were chasing it, today kind of looked like the gift day on that sell off this morning into the 200 day.
Yeah, it's I think it's gotta obviously be able to break through last week's high. I told the guys that I share a little community with, the Broncos got an interception. That it needed to break through like 42.50 or 43, somewhere in that area, and it poo-pooed after having that huge pop, but that doesn't mean it can't be strong and catch itself here, right? So
it's holding above the gap where it gapped down and gapped above, and
exactly.
It's a terrible like gappy chart, but
if you go back and look at like the range though, like this was an area that saw a lot of failures. It's like 43 zone, so
lots of lower highs too.
Yeah,
so you need to see that change a bit here. So I like it. I think it just needs a lot more time.
1000%. It's not if, it's when, GP said.
Yes, Randy, did you see the announcement that Victoria's Secret came out with the other week about they're no longer prioritizing wokeness over sexiness?
Yes.
I thought that was pretty funny.
They are no longer prioritizing wokeness over sexiness.
Apparently,
they're basically
they're bringing sexy back. Is that what they're saying?
That's what it sounds like.
When do I get my?
I never knew the sexy left, but I don't go shop at Victoria's Secret.
It looks like a gigantic, kind of descending wedge on the weekly.
It doesn't look good on the weekly to me, but
yeah.
Descending wedges aren't bullish, aren't they're bearish, no?
They're bullish
is it a SPAC?
If it can break out after the fifth touch. If it doesn't break out after the fifth touch, it usually turns into what's like a lot of guys call a wedge drop, where it just kind of like collapses from there.
Let's look at Neo.
Neo. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a wedge drop right there. You broke out this little wedge. If you look at the daily, you broke out this wedge you were in right here. Yeah, something like that, and you fell right back in it. But hey, we're getting great China news soon. Neoites, Neophiles. I don't know what people who like Neo are called.
I struggle I struggle trading anything in the retail space anyway. Like I just, even when the charts do look good, like even like Lululemon, like I just have a tough time like really finding any kind of conviction. Like how great can you really be, as a clothing company? Like what innovative shit are you really? I don't know. It's just kind of like
I don't know.
That's
It's probably as good as selling wings.
Yeah, dude, what? Like what? The thing is just, I mean, Chipotle's been on fire too.
A wing.
Wingstop, yeah.
Talk about an animal.
Yeah.
I like eating animals.
Wow, good for you.
Sorry, GP. No offense to the vegetarians out there.
Oh, what a run it's been on, man. What a run.
Yes. Wing, but it's not just it's since it IPO'd, it's been up and to the right, for the most part.
Yeah.
Chipotle too. It almost hit all-time highs today.
CMG.
What?
What's old Starbucks doing? I haven't even paid attention. Yeah, Starbucks gets its well, no, it didn't really pop for pumpkin spice, did it?
No, but Nike looks pretty good.
Nike looks good, like Disney looks good.
Lower highs. I mean, higher lows. Sorry.
Yeah, I see you. I see you, and you do have lower highs as well.
Yeah, lower highs, but it's also higher lows. So it's looking pretty good on the monthly. It never made a new low on the month, and then took out the prior month's highs, closed above it, and now the month is breaking higher than that. So looks like it's finally found a relative bottom. It could base here for another 10 years, but it just looks better. I just know, like, I remember it was down like 13 straight trading days or something like that, just like a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And people were like, end of Nike, and then now it looks good.
No, it's too good to be the end of Nike, but that doesn't mean it can reclaim its glory.
And then you also had
there's just so much. There's just so much competition in the space. I know Nike's the leader. I have everything in the world Nike, but I actually transitioned to some new ASICs running shoes, and I gotta tell you, I will pay the $30 or $40 less for the pair of ASICs than I will the Nikes now, because these ASICs are awesome.
Well, yeah,
agreed. I use ASICs for running too. Not that I run, but when I decide to run, I will use my ASICs.
Don't get me wrong, I love my Nikes. I have Nike running shoes and I still run in them, but yeah, these ASICs are legit. Anyway.
What's your favorite setups out there on a position that you're not in currently?
A position that I am not in currently that I absolutely love is Microsoft.
Microsoft.
I mean, that bad boy is launched. Google looks really good too.
I like Google. What do you think of Meta?
It finally cleared the 323 level.
Yeah.
And that's important. And it's the second attempt. So
yeah, Meta looks really good.
Yeah. What I like that I'm not in, almost got long today. Mickey D's.
Oh,
McDonald's. You've been reading too much of Mike Wilson.
Why?
He's all about these defensive stocks are going higher.
I am just looking at a channel on McDonald's that are broken, reclaimed.
dude,
And
every fast food place up here in the Twin Cities, for one, they're transitioning to no in dining, like the Taco Bell, right? Like you can't even you can go in there to order, but there's no dining room.
Really?
Yeah. Every drive-through, dude, I'm telling you, every drive-through, whether it's McDonald's, Taco Bell, some of the Chipotle's even have drive-throughs now. Dude, every fast food place, almost any time I drive by, like there are just massive lines still.
yeah. But is that because it's slower? Because it's only drive-through?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it helps me out because whenever I see a line, I'm like, well, fuck it, I ain't stopping then.
we have 4 McDonald's that are kind of close together, and one of them cannot keep help, and it's a struggle to order there. I just think that's it's hard for people to make a living off $11-12 an hour.
Yeah.
So I just think that it's just staffing more people, right? If you have your dining room open, you're forcing more people to have to work because you have to have the upkeep of the place. I haven't seen that yet here.
We're at a $15 to
even
$20 an hour minimum wage up
Oh,
here.
all right.
Pretty much any fast food, you're looking at like minimum $18 an hour.
Wow.
Minneapolis in its entirety, like they raised their like big business minimum wage is $15 an hour right now.
Wow.
You know, it's
Well,
another one that I've been wanting to get long. Um, it's a sector, and the sector is pretty much Meta and Google, but it's XLC.
XLC
Yeah, the comms
communication services. Yeah.
This
Oh,
like it. This is what so I think Meta is
Well, good.
25% and Google is 24% of this ETF. So based on the way this ETF chart looks, one of those is breaking out.
yeah.
The question is which one, and right now it actually looks like Meta's got the stronger chance.
Well,
Netflix is also part of this, but it's only 5%.
that'll push it higher. And Netflix looks great again. That was a breakout too.
Yep.
Now to break out above the range.
It just needs to get out of this godforsaken 6 years level.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just the longer it stays here, the more chances of it failing is. That's the only problem with Netflix.
Nick, I teased what I liked earlier. I kind of like a few China names. I'm looking at the yen, that 3X, and Baba, but that PDD looked great. I'm not gonna lie.
PDD looks phenomenal on all the China charts.
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm not gonna lie.
I threw an alert in for 111 and 105. I'm sorry, 106.
Yeah. But it's like it's literally on the verge of breaking out. It just needs that fire catalyst. It's just itching.
I mean, not quite, I don't think, but I mean, loosely, I would have called it a 3-week tight.
Yeah. I think the move out of this would be like to the 145 range. 135.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Something else and something I don't own that looked good was let me scan my charts here. I thought Qualcomm looked pretty good.
Needs to break the range.
Yeah. I mean, presuming it can get up into the 127s and keep the momentum, I think it keeps going.
Yep.
TSM, same deal. Like it's got to, beat through this 109, 110 or 110 area, but it also looks good. It defeated Batman.
Correct. I also think ARM looks good. New IPO.
You hate ARM though. You hate new IPOs.
Yes, but they're tradable because they're Momo names.
Ooh,
Fair.
what do you think of Path? I mean, it's still
I'd
in
like
its
it to go
reign,
higher
but
because I
man,
own it,
Yeah.
it
but
looks like it's setting up to go.
yeah, agreed, but
Man.
it just doesn't.
Yeah,
I like we've talked about this with gold, right? Like just buy the break, and I like it higher, and I will buy the breakout. Buy high, sell higher.
Also, love Lisa Sue.
You know I love me some Lisa Sue. We don't even need to go there.
That's a breakout. That's a confirmation of a breakout.
That
It's a
2 weeks ago,
reclaim of the uptrend, which it rejected just 2 months ago. We're testing that uptrend here, so we hold that 115 area. This has room to take out 132, and the range would imply a clear of all-time highs. The range is 132 to 93, so the breakout should be around that 35 to 40 point range from 132.
Jason says, look at Duolingo.
Yeah, that's a beast.
Yeah, that looks crazy.
It's one of the few IPO names that looks like this, right?
That shit look crazy.
Yeah, that was a monster bar. Mandy had a good day too.
How about some Palantir love?
Yeah, I love Palantir. I love Palantir.
Mandy had a good day.
Who? GB?
Mandy.
Monday. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Palantir looks good. Palantir looks
radar.
really good. I usually ignore this name, but wow, okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
A lot of
CPI is going to come in at
all over it.
5% tomorrow. We're going to be just eating crow.
Yeah, no shit. I know.
Yeah. I hate that we're in binary events. It drives me nuts.
And we're back to our spot on the XLF GP, right? We're just above. I mean, we checked off those previous all-time highs, which you could say is another retest.
Yep.
So there's some XLF names I like.
Goldman looks decent.
I like FAS, which is the 3X bull shares.
Yep. Goldman looks pretty decent.
Goldman, yep. Morgan's my favorite, but Morgan, I mean, it's almost the same chart as Goldman, except not as good. Cybersecurity, how are we looking there? I know you got out of your
great.
crowd. Look at crowd. Yeah. Monster. Zscaler, what's it doing? Just running.
Crowd's the only one that I still own. I don't own any Palo Alto or ZS. Although, yeah, Zscaler, I would have if I didn't have as many positions on as I do right now, I probably would have bought that breakout today.
Net, I'm telling, like I know this is not financial advice. This is my own
Datadog,
but net when this range goes, good lord. Yeah, Datadog's been good.
Dude, why PFE, Randy? Why?
What? I didn't see his
Pfizer. He's asking if anyone's looking at Pfizer, and I'm like, until the trend stops going down, probably not. It already broke last week's low.
Woo. What's their divvy now?
Yes.
I mean, that's got to be close to book value, doesn't it?
I don't know, but it broke last week's low already. So
yeah, I'm not saying because of either one of those two things to jump in, but like that's pretty freaking cheap.
Your better divvy bet is Altria Group, MO. At least hasn't broken new lows in a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's nearly a 10% divvy.
How's your VZ doing there, GP?
It's hanging and shit.
It's collecting a 7% yield.
Yeah, I think it was 8% when I got in.
Well, 7-8%. What's a percent between friends?
Better than 5.5 at the Treasury.
That is.
MU's back at the back. MU's back at the high of its range.
That has to be the most miserable stock on the planet.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Jeez,
miserable.
Cisco maybe or IBM? Which one do we vote for? Cisco looks like a big old Head and Shoulders.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. There's no doubt about that. It really does.
Which makes sense. They haven't innovated since Clinton was president.
Well, IBM innovated by buying another company and just pivoting all its business to the company it purchased.
Yes.
I mean, that could be a big ass rounding bottom there.
Yeah, only 25 years, 26 years.
Well, from 2010, so 15 years.
I don't know of anything that they're doing that would warrant a breakout, but sure.
Someday.
You know what's gonna happen? The China news is gonna be we're letting IBM in and no one else. That's the only way it's gonna go.
Hey, that's not so far fetched. That's not so far fetched.
It is the international business machines.
MasterCard and Visa look all right. They're doing
Yeah.
good. I mean, they kind of look cup and handily.
GitLab looks really good.
Yeah, the old GitLab.
There's a lot of stuff that looks good, but there's a lot of stuff.
So we went from completely everything looks like shit.
I know. I journaled so
every
hard
other
about.
week we're changing. It looks like shit. It looks gay. It looks like
No,
shit.
I still think GE looks like garbage. Cisco looks like garbage. IBM is going nowhere. I still think there's a ton of like. We just looked at Visa. It doesn't look great. Altria Group doesn't look great. Pfizer doesn't look great. There's a ton of stuff that.
All right, that's fair.
There's a ton of stuff that looks terrible. But you don't need those to participate for the markets to go higher, right? So, it's the self kind of regulation mechanism, which is if you don't perform, you get booted. So,
Yeah, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Well, almost 3 weeks ago, whatever. One that Monday that we were all just like, holy shit, everything looks like trash. I journaled hard because I've never felt that level of like, even amidst like 2022, I never felt that level of like, there was like a crazy weird feeling of despair that I had when we were talking about how just crappy everything looked, and then just,
I mean, you all were
fucking
just depressing the hell out of me.
but dude, if you looked at the price action, it was actually worse than 2022. In 2022, Boeing did not have 12 straight red weeks. It had 12 straight red weeks on the verge of potential rate cuts and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, what is going on, right? I think that was the thing, is like, okay, we know it's going to end at some point, but the question was, when is that end point? And they had just done 12 straight weeks of red in Boeing. I think it was Home Depot was 9 straight weeks, I believe, as well.
Oh, I accidentally unshared. Let me pop the charts back up there. Sorry, guys.
I think that was the thing, was like it was just constant selling. Here, HD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight red weeks in Home Depot.
Yeah, that was rough. Rough.
So yeah, when we were feeling that way, because the charts were terrible.
Yeah, I mean, with how good I thought the Qs were looking, and we kept talking about basically that 355, 350, 355 floor. And when that got taken out, I was just like, man, I don't know. I don't know. with again, just with how good it was looking, I thought that we were really shaping up for a monster like, run into the end of the year, kind of a continuation move through this kind of like wedge or channel that we were building after having a monster year.
Yep. That was
Hey
the
Nick, I
thing.
threw up
But that was
I
just
think we all felt that way like early October where things started to look better. And then
yeah,
basically OPEX until end of October, they just ran it into the ground, non-stop weakness, right? So it's like, all right. So basically everyone who thought there was going to be a rally was getting pummeled, and that's why I potentially think we have walkout possibilities.
Hey Nick, well, we do have a possible government shutdown or continuing resolution in 3 more days, so there's that. Nick, have you looked at any of your IBB names, or are you still looking at
No.
IBB? Or
I mean,
get
I
off
like
the drugs,
I like
kids.
I like VRTX, LLY, and NVO basically.
Lily has gone crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the third one you said, Nick?
I caught an amazing short on Lily though.
NVO.
Yeah. Lily, I've kind of traded it in and out
Mike,
of.
Daniel, Oscar,
And Nancy, Victor, Oscar.
NVO. NVO. Alex is just like Lily.
Yeah, they're both diabetes.
Weight loss drugs.
Weight loss drugs, yeah. But no, other than that, I haven't really paid too much attention to. I mean, it looks like the IVB and the XBI are kind of starting to potentially put in a higher low here on the daily. But I kind of like, I don't know. I look at the XBI and the IBB a lot like the IWM, where it really needs to kind of prove itself before I kind of want to throw money in that direction.
Wasting your time and money, right?
Yeah. There's too much other shit that looks fucking great to kind of throw darts at what. I mean, obviously nothing's a guarantee, but there's way too many good looking setups to kind of throw your money at like what could be just either dead money or,
True.
Anyone paying attention to what cruise liners are doing? Because RCL looks great.
Yeah, I was gonna say you mentioned RCL a couple weeks ago.
Yes, and that's been phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
So, like, what's the trend we're noticing? I think that's the part that stands out to me quite often in this conversation, is that retail looks great. Look, you have cruise liners looking pretty good. You have Wingstop looking pretty good. Chipotle looking pretty good. McDonald's has reclaimed their good. Ross Stores looks pretty good. Lulu looks pretty good. And so, like, what's the conversation saying is maybe retail is not as screwed as we think they are, right? And so, yes, there's other names that don't look great. Like Target doesn't look great, but Walmart looks pretty good.
Wally World.
Just, clearing all-time highs with no issues at all.
Yeah. Costco did too, or not all-time highs, I guess.
Costco looks like it's about to at any point. Might be 82, but but Costco looks great too. One of the best run companies
in the world.
Yeah, Walmart, man, looks fucking amazing.
Texas Roadhouse looks great. Barbecues for everyone.
What is their ticker symbol?
TXRH.
Somebody
shit
not too long ago about that one.
Damn.
It's not like a fast mover or anything, but it's just chugging along.
Strong.
What's Darden's ticker symbol?
DRI.
Waste Management. WM.
Wow, that looks pretty damn good too. Holy crap. DRI is Darden.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
Yum. Does not look that great.
Just buy Pepsi.
Spot looks pretty good. Another retail name.
Dude, that's another thing I noticed recently, and I don't know what the deal is. So, like, so Cell H, I think, looks like garbage right now to me. Monster looks okay, but dude, in some of these gas stations, like some of these energy drinks, like they can't keep them on the shelf. And I don't know if that's just a thing up here in the cities, or
No, it's everywhere.
is it?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Damn.
I don't leave my basement, so I wouldn't know, but
Yeah, I try not to.
Yeah, there's entire sections of energy drinks at your local grocer if you go check it out.
yeah. Even booking.com looks great.
AMAT looks pretty good.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, it's really starting to look like we were just kind of more or less correct into time, just waiting for that 200 day to catch up is really kind of what it kind of seems like.
Yeah.
As ugly as some of them turned into.
Still need Tesla to participate.
QLYS. What is
Yeah.
QLYS? Quails? Qualis? I don't know.
Cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And it keeps going.
Just,
Up and to the right. Randy, having a basement is incredible. The last 2 weeks in my mom and dad's basement has just been the best I could have ever imagined.
It's so great. How does Shack look?
Shake Shack?
Not great.
oh.
GoPro still trades? I thought they got bought out.
G Pro?
Wow.
$3.
That's an interesting.
I forgot about that one.
It's got a little bounce. A little bounce to the ounce.
Yeah, dude, that's a
Mobileye.
33% move.
Was this $100? No, the GoPro was never $100 stock.
Yes, it was. Wasn't it 90 or something?
98.47 is the all-time high.
God, I remember when that thing was ripping and just.
I never understood it. I'm like, they sell cameras.
That looks like Wish.
Wow.
There's something.
The thing is, like, the only people that own GoPros are like porn stars and athletes. Like how who else owns a GoPro?
I don't know. Dude, what happened to Bluebird? BLUE. This used to be a really, yeah, it used to be a big traded. What in the world? I just came across it in my list. You got to see how far this has come down.
It looks like death.
Wow.
I mean, I love to chirp shit at like the perma bears, but man, like some of like,
dude, there's a lot of charts that look like garbage.
Yeah, if you're good on the short side, I suppose you just got to have that kind of conviction. It's going.
Look at
but they want to short Apple and Microsoft and not the crap.
Yeah, I know. Why not go after the garbage?
They're not seeing the separation, right? Everyone thinks the market should go down, so these things that were getting bought are the ones that are going to go down first. No, they're going to be the last ones to go down.
UNH actually looks really good.
Did you see that the not 40 anymore guy is back on StockTwits?
Who?
Not 40 anymore? God, he is such an angry guy.
Were you talking about old fucking guy?
Yeah, him.
Oh, old fucking guy. Did he change his name?
That's his handle is not 40 anymore, but his name goes by that old fucking guy. Yeah. God, he just like I
Only
don't.
comes back when the market starts behaving and then disappears for the whole time where the market was down 30 something percent.
Yeah.
You either you're there and participating through all of it and talk crap the whole way through, or you don't get a chance to. That's my
Well,
opinion.
in fairness, there are several. There are more than one person on each side of the bull bear tape that do that. When it's bearish,
For sure.
they'll go quiet, or vice versa.
Which hopefully, if they're going to cash and the market's just not their kind of market, good on them. But I don't think many go that route.
Jason said OFG is the ultimate bullish indicator since he has returned. I love you guys. It cracks me up. Thanks for that, Jason. That was good.
Dude, how I didn't even know Steve Madden still trades. Apparently, it trades.
Steve
Really?
HOO. I'm just looking at other retail names while we're talking.
What's old Hood up to?
Garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Loco garbage too.
Yep. Sold it in the tins. So there you go.
How's your ass looking?
How's my ass looking?
S Sentinel.
Oh, I thought it was like, well, my ass has been running 600 miles this year, and it looks pretty fine according to Mrs. Bags. S is okay. It's okay. I mean, if the rest of cyber is going to go, it's going to go. But I'm still very positive on the stock and the outlook.
Yes. Can someone tell me what happened to MDT? I don't follow these one names. Holy moly's.
Medtronic?
Yep.
I have no clue.
Ooh. Told you there's a lot of charts that still look awful.
Ooh.
And with no sight of like Ooh.
You sure? Hey, you want to try that Intel versus AMD bet against me there, GP?
At what price did we do this?
I don't remember.
I believe Intel was like 28, right?
Yeah, it was somewhere around here. Yeah, it was this first week of. It was like this week right here. So we'll call it between 28 and 30. It was somewhere in here
It's doing pretty well.
because it had this move. You sold on the gap up, and then it shot back down.
Yeah.
So let's just call it 30 to 38. And what AMD on what week is that? The June 5th. June 5th. Yeah, it's winning right now. Basically flat for AMD, and you're up a little bit. 8 points.
May 31st is when we made that call.
May 31st. So that would be the week
Or May 30th or whatever.
Yeah. Because that was the end of the week. We were still doing Sunday shows.
Yes.
So there you go.
You know what also looks pretty good? I thought they were going to go bankrupt because they were too woke.
Bud. Can't keep these people from drinking Budweiser too long.
Wow.
I mean, it was a hell of a short if you got in, but the time has passed. That really, see, you brought up that on Victoria's Secret. That really interests me. On they're shaking off the wokeness, so to speak, and bringing sexy back. That can be a tradable moment in time. You know what I mean? Because these people get all fired up on their social media and it goes around, and for a week or a month, people care. Like, oh, we got to get Victoria's Secret because they're saying fuck woke, right? So I think that can be tradable, just knowing how humans behave. Anyway.
Yeah. Definitely a mob, kind of a mob psychology or mob rules type.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. One of these days we'll all kind of just come into the middle and, get along and accept everyone for just whatever the fuck they wanna, But
That is highly doubtful. But I love your optimism.
okay, hopefully.
I hope so too. I just, based on what's going on in the world right now, I don't know if that's
I
possible.
know, I know. I mean, like, how realistic is it too? Like, even in the United States, like we're a melting pot of cultures, and like to really expect like everyone to be able to kind of sit in a room and get along when they have such strong rooted beliefs that like go back, ages. I don't know. It's just
It's in their DNA.
yeah, right.
I still think there's no cure for stupid.
No, definitely
Don't
not.
disagree. Don't disagree with that. Don't disagree with that.
What about solars? What do you guys think of solars here?
I haven't been paying attention.
Is the death finally over?
I mean, FSLR doesn't look great.
No.
TAN doesn't look great.
And phase stopped going down at least.
Yeah, on the monthly, you've got that 4-year moving average sitting like about 107-ish. Maybe it does kind of start to kind of round out or bottom out around there.
Yeah, this is going to take some time, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of technical damage. It's not going to just return to glory.
Sweet.
I think that's probably a good conversation, right? To talk about you're talking about what, almost 2 years of technical damage on a lot of these names, right? And people are expecting V's and stuff like that in a lot of names, and it's going to be hard if you're looking left and the price has so much history for it to be a V.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not in a lot of names in a V camp. That's not. It's not what how this is going to play out.
I'm also in the camp that I know a lot of people are like, small caps have to lead for the market to break out. And I don't know how small caps lead if interest rates stay exactly where they are.
I don't. That's kind of that's kind of the mindset I've taken.
Yeah.
1000%.
So like, I know that's been the usual case in the past, but what if this is not the same environment, right? Like, unless CPI comes down a lot and the Fed starts talking about cutting interest rates or whatever, then I don't see how small caps lead. I can see how small caps can follow. I just don't know how they can lead. And so I think I was talking to someone on StockTwits about it. Is I don't think. Oh yeah, Atlassian. Like, I just don't think IWM can lead. Right? It can definitely follow if the SPY and the Qs are all going up, small caps will follow. I just don't think it can outperform. But that's why I wanted to ask, is like, what do you guys think of that? Because I don't see how, but maybe you guys see how it can.
I just think if the mega caps and semiconductors are going higher, it doesn't matter what the fuck small caps are doing.
Yeah, I agree.
They are such an insignificant part of the makeup of the rest of the market that it doesn't matter. They're small caps. They're small fry. They have small weighting.
Yeah, I don't think it's I don't think it's like I'm kind of with you in the sense that, like, in terms of interest rates, I think after some time, sure, they could start to, I don't know, not necessarily break out, but kind of start to move back towards the high end of this massive range they're in. But if they do continue to raise rates, I don't think IWM, like, just if you think about like small business in general, like they don't have what it takes to kind of weather the storm. And I kind of look at the IWM in the same way. I don't think the IWM needs to lead for us to break out. They could continue to, at least in my mind, I think they could continue to be dog shit.
1000%.
Like the money, like go where the least from a trader's perspective, like I don't care what's moving, but I'm gonna move to where the money is. I don't, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
From a risk perspective too, it's kind of like if IWM really signifies risk on, risk off, it's then the market's telling you what's being rewarded and where the money is flowing to. So
Yeah, like,
I
but
don't
with
know.
interest, that's the thing. Like, what's gonna pull for me? Just logically thinking about it, right? Small caps outperform because money starts flowing into the markets because there's no better place to be. But when you have interest rates at 5.25%,
Yeah,
your money's working for you, and there's no rush to get into potential serial underperformers or ones that can be hurt by a big recession or by interest rates going higher or whatever, right? So like,
Well, wouldn't it be like, I mean, your safer places have run, and it doesn't mean that they're at exhaustion, but you have money that you've been able to pull out of the market from these places. And that's when you go do the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, the XVIs, right? Like these are places where you're putting more risk on money in more risky or buy low, sell higher places,
yeah.
right?
What are the components of the IWM anyway? Anyone know the top five?
It's a lot of financials.
Okay, then that makes sense. Financials can go higher. It's also energy too,
IWM
right?
holdings.
Top
Hang on,
holding is
it is a lot.
SMCI. Okay, that's why it can go higher.
well
The
they
biggest holding is
rebalance.
SMCI.
They rebalance just like everything else. So you got SMCI, Light Wonder, Rambus, Cord Energy, Weather International, Comfort Systems, Onto Intervention, Murphy Oil, Matador, Qualsys.
Ooh, Colossus.
There's that name again. Duolingo's in there.
Yeah, but the top 11th one is actually called USD Cash. So that's how they're making their money. They're buying
Cash.
treasuries.
Noble.
The 11th most. Oh my God, how is the 11th biggest position cash in this?
But SMCI is not even 1% of the total weight. It's around a 0.5% total weight.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
but it's all equally distributed, right? That's why they talk about it.
so you're down to like half down to less than a quarter in the top 50 holdings. So like there's just a lot of shit in there, and a lot of it is financials and energy.
And I also believe that the Russell 3000 is outperforming the Russell 2000,
I don't know.
which is a bigger pile of shit stocks.
Yeah, that makes sense. Guys, we're at an hour.
All right.
It's time to pack it up and go home. Oh, I mean, I am home.
Yep.
Thank you, fellows. Thanks for everybody who tuned in and watched tonight. We really appreciate it. We feel some bullish momentum here tonight, and hopefully it continues. And we hope that everybody remains in the green and profitable. And please like, comment, subscribe, share us with your friends. Guys, let's do it again next week.
Sounds good.